So obviously we have a US election coming up. We've had this big turn of events with Kamala Harris replacing Joe Biden. Um, how do you look at like an election as a factor when it comes to investing in markets?
But I think most elections are are more risk management type uh, periods rather than times to generate alpha. I think anytime your macro manager is out there saying that they have an edge in trying to predict U.S. elections or UK elections or any of these elections, like they're getting over their skis. The ability to predict the macroeconomy is totally unrelated to the ability to predict elections. Frankly, elections seem, much more in the area of astrology to me than they are of concrete fact. And so, when you're trading through these sorts of periods, you want to understand what's priced in. But probably the biggest thing you want to understand is making sure that you're not overly exposed to one particular outcome or another. In this circumstance, I think it's any reasonable person say basically it's a coin flip. It's about a 50-50. Anything other than that is kind of marginal. There are relatively big differences between the parties. There's some similarities in terms of likely continuing an expansive fiscal policy, but there are pretty big differences, whether it's about tariff policy, immigration, or about let's say corporate friendly positioning, whether it's on taxes or regulation. And so, an election of either party could create meaningful divergences in asset markets, and so you just don't want to be overweight one particular view or another. And I think if you went through the 2016 election or you went through Brexit, which are both, I think, good cases where you had bimodal outcomes that were very close, and you had large market moves in either direction as a function of those outcomes, and some of which were unexpected. I think it's very important just to not get too overweight one particular outcome or another.